woke up with the urge to go to the gym. Why is it so cold? Oh, there's only a little left. Okay, we need some more of that. I still find that this is literally the best way for me to put in my protein powder. When I put it straight into my oats, it turns out really gritty. But like mixing it with a little water into a paste makes it so much smoother. And yes, I still use the same one. Literally the best. A little bit of water. I am so excited. Very clearly back on my egg white oats. Yes, I swear the tiniest crack of salt makes such a big difference. It is Saturday. I have had such a good start to my Saturday this morning, and hopefully 2025 we will continue like this. Of course, near the start of the year, everyone's so much more motivated to really get on with their routine, to try and like stay on top of health holistically, okay? Spending some time outdoors, getting our movement in, and like fueling our body with things that are good for us. And I also know that everyone's a bit like iffy with the new year because we all start off strong and then it kind of plateaus and then drops off near the end of the year. However, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It doesn't matter if it does plateau or like drop off near the end of the year, and if you don't have as much motivation near the end of the year, at least you're doing it at the start. That's how I kind of like to think of it sometimes, because I feel like a lot of people are like, yeah, but is there even a point of me doing it then if I'm not going to keep it up? Just try. Okay, I don't know why I went on a tangent. My brain is all over the place. I actually had my last week of GP placement, so I'm starting at the wards on Monday on my Jerry's and Loco MSK block. That's basically care of the elderly. We've got some orthopedics, some rheumatology, some MSK and clinics. So I'm actually really looking forward to being back on the wards. What else do I have this week? I have also been trying to keep up on top of my research project. If you guys remember, I mentioned before how fourth year we have a dissertation, and so I have a project that I have to actually stay on top of, and my deadline is April. Taking 2 weeks off for Christmas break and like going to Thailand was incredible, but it does also mean I'm a little bit behind in terms of my studies. I feel like since I've been back, it's just been me trying to get back into the groove of things, back into routine, and setting the bar straight for the new year. This is so good. since it is the weekend, I have some time to prep a few things that I'm out of just so that it's ready for the week. It's always nice to have these restocked and ready so that during the week you don't have to faff around, especially when you don't have much time anyway and you're usually out or at uni or on placement. First of all is granola, because I do love granola as a light lunch and it's just so easy to like throw onto things. And there's a new recipe that I found. It's like a maple sea salt olive oil granola and it's so good. It looks so crispy and crunchy, so we're gonna give that a try today. And then also my overnight oats, just because I have been sticking to having that as my packed lunch for a while now. I just find it so easy and so quick to prep. It's ready, it's in the fridge, you don't really need to do much aside from mixing a few things together. And I think also because I've had it so consistently, it's really easy for me to digest and my body is very used to it. So even if I'm like rushing to eat it on the go whilst on placement, because that can happen sometimes, okay, my body doesn't like struggle to like digest my food, and it also keeps me full and satiated for such a long time, so perfect. I also might prep some of those for the week so that we're ready to go. Can you tell we're a big fan of cinnamon in this house? If I were you, I would also add walnuts. However, I have no ready walnuts to use. I only have like whole walnuts at home at the moment and I am really just not bothered to crack them right now. And PS, I do like to also throw in some flaxseed. However, I find that these can sometimes burn in the oven. So what I do is once it's done and ready, I pop it out and then I sprinkle it over the top and it works just as well. I would have packed in some salt, but the nuts are already salted, so I'm not going to. I don't know if you guys remember from a previous vlog, I had mentioned how much I love the Good Grain, but I don't always order from them because I do make most of my overnight oats myself. I kind of use it as a chance to kind of treat myself, so. But the jars are so cute, and also they're glass, so you can actually reuse them for your own overnight oats at home. And I have so many. I literally have so many, but they're so cute. I can't help myself. I am going to let this cool before I pop it into my container. I mean, can you look at that? Oh my god. I mean, that just looks like absolute perfection. So good. So bestie, I get a lot of questions about how I kind of go around organizing my study schedule, and to be honest, I don't really have a schedule. Of course, I as a person love routine. I love having a schedule that I like to stick to. However, I find that when it comes to my studies, if I have something that's too rigid, like a really rigid timetable as to like, okay, this day I'm gonna study this day I'm gonna study that, and then I'm gonna do 3 hours of, I don't know, XYZ module on Thursday, I just don't end up sticking to it. I don't know if it's like the anxiety of having to stick to such a rigid like structure. Something about it just makes me not want to study. You can be a student for however many years, like us in med school, we have been studying for a very long time. However, it still doesn't get easy. And sometimes there are days where you literally just don't feel like sitting at a desk for hours and looking over content and work and having to memorize stuff, and it makes you want to rip your hair out. However, I find that having a more relaxed approach to studying makes me study more. Like, it makes me want to study more. I don't know what kind of reverse psychology is going on in my head. Maybe I'm the only one who struggles with this. Maybe it's just my brain that's a bit off-wired, but it works. Now that being said, my uni does do most of the scheduling for me, thank you, because we get given timetables. Usually what ends up happening is before we have placements, we do have weeks of like revision and content that we go over before we start the placement. So for example, this current block that I am on is my Jerry's Loco MSK block, and how it is kind of coordinated is that I had 2 weeks of teaching and all the material that we needed was given to us then, and then we had 5 weeks of community placement, which was my GP block, and then 5 weeks of ward-based placement. So that's me at the hospital I was sent to, and I will be rotating around different clinics. So most of our lectures and our content material was crammed into 2 weeks. However, it is then up to you to then go over the content over the weeks that you have your placements and to kind of revise them, do questions, do papers, and then also at the same time be able to kind of look over previous first, second and third year content as well. Now I say first, second and third year content, most of that content is kind of integrated into our content in general because we have a spiral curriculum, which means that a lot of things like any kind of cardiology, respiratory, general medicine stuff, this is already something that is kind of involved in every speciality. Nothing in medicine sticks to one thing. You will get a patient presenting with like something very acutely, but they have a whole list of problems going on in the background, and that can range from anything rheumatological to anything like heart related and heart like failures. So for example, in this Jerry's block, we're gonna have a lot of elderly patients who might come in with a fracture or a fall. However, they might be on medications for things like Parkinson's, or they might be dealing with long-term conditions like heart failure or like diabetes. So everything does kind of link together in general. So it's up to you to make sure that you are revising and visiting other topics as well. So that is why I think the idea of having to put together a schedule for me to revise everything is just very scary, so I don't attempt it. So that's why if I know that next week I am going to be going to Jerry's clinic, I will spend this week making sure I go over the content again, or like going over any notes that I might have made, and then just doing a whole load of questions. I really hope that made sense. So good. I'm gonna try something new and put some PB Fit into the dressing as well. Just because I don't think I have any peanut butter itself. Let's hope this tastes good. and dinner is served. We've got a lovely broccoli and like slaw kind of salad and some lovely chicken on top. I'm literally so excited. That is so freaking good. I was debating between this and doing like a couscous, pomegranates and like halloumi underneath, but I'm actually really happy with the slaw.